Learning about networking challenges some students because of the abstract nature of what goes on in a computer network. I mean, fundamentally, we're dealing with invisible electrical impulses moving from place to place. The only way to approach something like that is via mental models, metaphors, and imagination. And if that sounds boring to you, then I've got good news, because today's topic is nothing like that. In this video, I'll show you how to crimp Ethernet cable, which just means to attach plugs to the end of a cable. This is about the most hands-on activity you'll get to do while studying for your Network Plus cert, so you might as well pause this video, run to the store, buy a wire crimper, some uncrimped cable, and some RJ45 plugs. I'll wait. Oh, hey, great. Now that you're back from the store, let's get started. First off, crimping cable isn't like playing hockey. There are rules. UTP cable is made up of differently colored strands of wire all coiled together. And if you don't pay attention to the order in which you arrange the strands, the cable won't transmit or receive data, and you'll get that question wrong on the Network Plus exam. To get the strands in the right order, you have to follow what are called the TIA-EIA 568 standards. There are two 568 standards, 568A and 568B. To make a straight-through Ethernet cable, you crimp both ends following either the A or B standards. As long as both ends match, it'll work. For this video, I'll be using 568B, but you could just as easily use 568A. Take the blade part of your crimping tool and cut off about 1.5 inches of the outer sleeve. This gives you room to work with the wires, because what you're about to do is untwist them all so that you can arrange them in the proper pattern according to the T568A or B standard that you're choosing. Because today we're going with T568B, we'll arrange our wires starting from pin 1 in orange-white, orange, green-white, blue, blue-white, green, brown-white, brown. Eventually, I'm cheating here, we'll have them all untwisted. So, once you have them untwisted, here's the part that's interesting. Just kind of place the cable on your finger like this and clamp down with your thumb, and then jiggle the wires into the position that you want. So there's my orange-white, my orange, green-white. Once you get them all in the spot where you want, there's a filament here that just pulled it out of the way. Get them tight on your finger, like so. And make sure they're still in order. Take your crimping tool and use the blade again to cut it off at about 1/2 inch. Keep it tight. Whee! Flying crimps. Note the crimp. You should have the clip side down and gently slide it on. Take your crimping tool, note there is a slot for this. Put it on the crimp. And then squeeze really hard to make your crimp. And that's it. Repeat this process on the other end of the cable. Once you've got both ends crimped, test the cable with a cable tester. If it passes, great. If not, snip the ends off and do it again. Tedious, right? Don't let this episode give you the wrong idea. Most network techs never crimp their own cables. There's a reason why geeks have soft and uncalloused hands, like those of a baby with a moisturizer compulsion. Geeks don't do a lot of physical labor. And yes, I just categorized attaching a connector to the end of a cable as physical labor. Networking cable is usually purchased pre-crimped, and network techs rarely have to do more than plug the cable into a piece of hardware. About the only time you'll need to create custom cables is when your buddies drop in for a wild LAN party and one of them forgot to bring his Wi-Fi. Crimping cable is becoming one of those lost art skills that many newer techs lack, so knowing how to do it properly can come in handy.